2K Games recently released Mafia, The Last Dawn, the final chapter in the Mafia trilogy. Does this game live up to the legacy of its predecessors? Let's find out. The game starts with a quick cinematic showing us the state of the Italian Mafia in 2005. It is rapidly declining due to the lack of fresh ideas, corruption, and internal squabbles among the 5 ruling families. Mysterious letter has been sent to each family threatening to expose their illegal activities, unless they hand over one of their own. The game then flashes back to 1998, and we meet our new protagonist, Riccardo Montalvo, a young and ambitious soldier in the Italian-American Mafia who works under the orders of the Morelli crime family. Riccardo gets into trouble early on when he disobeys a direct order from his boss, resulting in the death of an innocent man. This event will haunt him for the rest of the game. To make amends, Riccardo must retrieve a briefcase from a rival gang, which will put him on a collision course with a new enemy, the Russian Mafia. The game's story then unfolds through a series of increasingly ambitious missions given to Riccardo by his bosses. All the while, you'll uncover the mystery behind the mysterious letter and discover what the future holds for the Italian Mafia. As I said before, the story takes place in 1998. So the entire game is set during the era of the internet's early popularity. There are plenty of fun and humorous moments to be had as you use dial-up modems, visit chat rooms, and even attempt to hack into computers. These sections feel very nostalgic to me, because it reminds me of the stupid things that I did as a kid on the internet. The story itself is solid, but nothing too special when compared to the first 2 games in the series. There are some shocking plot twists and betrayals along the way, but I didn't really feel emotionally invested in any of the characters. I feel like this is probably because there are just too many characters to keep track of, and I also didn't spend enough time with them. That being said, the game does have some truly memorable scenes that will stick with you long after you've finished playing. Something that sets Mafia 3 apart from other Mafia games is the introduction of an amnesiac protagonist. You slowly regain your memories throughout the course of the game, and it provides an interesting narrative device to explain the protagonist's lack of knowledge about certain characters and events. However, I found it quite distracting whenever these scenes occurred, because it broke the flow of the game's story. Also, whenever I played a Mafia game, I always found myself asking questions like, why did my character do that? Or why doesn't my character remember that? But I guess that's the point. Still, I think that the amnesiac plot device could have been executed in a more seamless manner. Overall, the story is good, but it's not as strong as the previous games. The voice acting is solid across the board and the writing is decent, but I can't help but feel that the characters could have been fleshed out a little bit more. The gameplay in Mafia 3 is a mixture of the best elements from Mafia 1 and Mafia 2. You'll engage in violent shootouts, car chases, and stealth missions. Combat feels fluid and responsive, and the cover system is well implemented. The game also features a driving mechanic that was present in Mafia 2. While I enjoy the addition of this mechanic, I found that it felt somewhat clunky and difficult to control. Another aspect of the game that borrows from Mafia 2 is the ability to enter any building or car at any time, which adds a sense of freedom and immersion to the game world. There are also plenty of side quests and activities to keep you entertained. In between story missions, you can participate in races, tennis matches, hunting trips, and much more. One thing that I particularly enjoyed were the hacking missions, where you retasked with finding key items within a computer-generated recreation of the target's house or office. These missions add a nice change of pace to the usual formula of the game, and they test your skills in a different way. Something that sets Mafia 3 apart from other Mafia games is the open-world aspect. Unlike the previous games, which were more linear, Mafia 3 gives you more freedom to explore the game world at your own pace. The open world is filled with things to do and see, and I found myself getting lost in it for hours on end. Just walking around the city and taking in the sights and sounds is a truly mesmerizing experience. The graphics are stunning, and the attention to detail is mind-blowing. From the dilapidated buildings to the lush greenery, everything looks so realistic. One thing that really stands out is the lighting engine, which creates some beautiful and immersive scenes. The game also features a dynamic weather system that adds to the realism of the game world. Driving around in the rain or snow is a truly breathtaking experience. Another aspect of the game that deserves praise is the sound design. The soundtrack is fantastic and perfectly complements the visuals. The voice acting is also top-notch, and the sound effects are used to great effect. One thing that I particularly enjoyed were the radio stations that played period-appropriate music. These songs not only added to the authenticity of the game world, but also helped to set the mood. One aspect of the game that could have been better is the AI. The enemies can sometimes be a bit too aggressive, and the allies can sometimes be a bit too stupid. For example, in one mission, I was ambushed by a group of enemies. Even though my allies were right next to me, they could have easily defended me, but they just stood there and watched as I was being attacked. In another mission, I was driving down the street, when suddenly, a group of enemies opened fire on me. I tried to return the favor, but my bullets simply bounced off of them. It seemed like they were made out of concrete. These instances were rare, but they were noticeable. Another minor gripe I have with the game is the camera system. While it does a good job of keeping the action clear, it can sometimes be a bit too close for comfort. During intense firefights, I often found myself wanting a bit more distance. Overall, though, the gameplay is solid and enjoyable, and the graphics, sound design, and level of detail are all top-notch. If you're a fan of Mafia games or open-world adventures, then you'll definitely appreciate what Mafia 3 has to offer. The length of the game depends on your playstyle. If you just want to focus on the main story, you can expect to finish the game in around 20 to 25 hours. But if you want to experience everything that Mafia 3 has to offer, then you should set aside at least 50 to 60 hours. There is a ton of content packed into this game, and I found myself getting lost in it for hours on end. There are plenty of side quests and activities to keep you entertained in between story missions, and the open world is so immersive that you will find yourself exploring it for hours on end. If you're a completionist, then you'll definitely want to set aside even more time, as you'll want to make sure you get 100% completion. If you enjoyed Mafia 1 and Mafia 2, then you'll definitely love Mafia 3. It takes everything that was great about those games and builds upon it, creating an immersive, open-world adventure that will keep you entertained for hours on end. The story may not be as strong as the previous games, but the stellar graphics, sound design, and gameplay more than make up for it. So if you're looking for a game that will transport you back to the nostalgic era of the late 90s and early 2000s, look no further than Mafia 3. Thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for more content. And thank you for watching.